for neighborhoods like this next to the coulees.
If dredging of the Vermilion doesn't take place in tandem with a comprehensive flood control project on a regional basis, we are going to flood again.
Neighbors here passionate that dredging efforts could help protect their homes from future flooding. And with hurricane season around the corner, the clock is ticking. I'm Christina Mondragon, your Lafayette Parish reporter for KATC TV3.
It's been holding back water for 8 decades and holding on by a thread. Now behind me and behind these gates, the Ruth Canal is expected for a major overhaul. I'm Joshua Moten, your St. Martin Parish reporter, finding out what's changing and why some residents are hopeful with a few conditions. In a quiet spot south of Breaux Bridge, a hidden piece of infrastructure is doing heavy lifting for the region's water supply.
This is Bayou Teche, which begins in Port Barre, and Bayou Teche meanders through St. Landry Parish, St. Martin Parish, and down through Iberia Parish.
I spoke to some nearby residents who told me they had no idea the structure even existed or why it mattered. So I asked Donald Segura, the executive director for the Teche Vermilion Freshwater District.
It's very important to maintain a flow of water in these water bodies. And one of the canals that help us do that is the Ruth Canal.
Now, that structure, built in 1945, is getting a full replacement. It still works, but Donald says it's been showing its signs of age, and without it, the bayou would be several feet lower.
The reason that we have to have this fresh water flow is that we need it to prevent stagnation, it reduces pollution, and it also prevents saltwater intrusion in the lower parts of the watershed.
If the Ruth structure failed, the impact would be felt up and down the Teche, from boaters to farmers to anglers.
If this structure would not be in place, Bayou Teche would have 4 feet less water in it right now, which would not be adequate for the upper reaches of the Teche.
The upgrade comes from district reserves, money saved over the years specifically for repairs like this, and it comes with a plan to keep the water flowing during construction.
It's going to take the water from the upstream side of the structure, bring it around to the downstream side, and the water will flow through that bypass while the structure is being replaced.
Donald tells me he estimates the project to be completed in 4 years and hopes it'll help to secure the future of the parish's waterways. Reporting in Breaux Bridge, I'm Joshua Moten, your St. Martin Parish reporter with KATC TV3.
Well, what a difference a few hours make. It was a very stormy morning across Acadiana. Quiet this afternoon with mostly sunny skies, but we are picking up on a few isolated showers, thunder showers, eastern Allen, portions of Evangeline into southwestern Avoyelles Parish. But that's an area where we may see a few early evening showers or thunder showers, but the rest of us should be relatively quiet this evening through daybreak tomorrow. Maybe a little patchy fog. Temperatures bottom out low to mid 70s. Pretty quiet through tomorrow morning, but we get into the afternoon hours, showers and thunderstorms on the way, and the possibility of a few severe cells and locally very heavy rainfall. Tonight, temperatures dropping down into the 70s. We'll keep rain chance overnight at 10%, but back up to 80% tomorrow with, again, strong to possibly severe storms, mainly afternoon hours. Of course, we'll have more timing and intensity and rainfall totals coming up in just a little bit.
As many of us know, sheltering in place during a hurricane can be a scary experience, especially for children. I can speak from my own experience as a mother. My 9-year-old daughter is already asking a lot of concerned questions as we approach hurricane season. So I asked a couple of students, what do they think of when they hear the word hurricane?
The noises, and if the power goes out, then it's dark. Thunder and lightning and a lot of rain.
Does that make you scared? And that's the case for many kids. I sat down with a clinical therapist, Tessa Ozan, to learn more about what signs parents should watch for that may indicate their child is feeling anxious about a storm.
They start to ask mom or dad if they can sleep in their bed with them, or if they start to say or ask questions about, mommy or daddy, is there a storm coming? Should I be scared? Should I be afraid?
So how can parents start a conversation about storms in a way that feels safe and age appropriate?
You're the expert in your child's development, right? So, and also you're their safe person. So they trust you. So developing a plan early on, talking to them about what a hurricane is. I usually like to refer to books
to give them a better understanding of what to expect. And in order to reassure children without making promises we can't guarantee, Ozan says,
everything is figure outable. I usually like to tell my kids, so no matter how big or how small an impact could be, as long as they know that they have support by their parents or support by, friends outside of their parents or family members outside of their parents, as long as they feel supported, things could be a lot less scary.
And she tells me making them a part of preparations can also help.
Make sure that they feel embraced and they feel like they're a part of the team, the preparedness team. Whenever they feel like they're a part of the team, then they feel prepared. They're a lot less anxious. Kind of like us. Whenever we know there's a plan, we're typically less anxious.
Also, if your child is experiencing anxiety in the middle of a storm, she says remember breathing techniques. And again, always be supportive. All week long, we're breaking down what you need to know to stay ready for hurricane season, from evacuation plans to insurance to flood zones. Then on Sunday night, the first day of hurricane season, catch our full hurricane special. Everything you need to get a game plan before the storms start rolling in. And if you missed anything, we've got it all posted right now on KATC.com.
The Vermilion Police Jury is planning on selling 2 buildings, the Abbeville Health Unit and this one right behind me, the Old Bank on Charity Street. Officials say the main reason for the sale is to cut costs. The building currently houses the Vermilion Parish Sheriff's Detective Unit. It houses the Criminal Investigation Division, which includes evidence custodians and records division, along with 10 deputies. At this time, there is no timeline on when the deputies will relocate, but you can download our free KATC mobile app for all those updates. In Abbeville, I'm Penelope Lopez for KATC TV3.
Okay, you may have noticed the extra flying and crawling around in or around your home, but guess what? You're definitely not alone when it comes to dealing with these little creepy bugs, termites. I'm Paris Flanagan reporting here in Lafayette Parish, speaking with J&J Exterminating Company, who says they've been working around the clock trying to get rid of the pest. It's that time of year again.
We've had a lot of call volume, a lot of activity, swarm activity.
You told me that. How many calls did you guys get?
Too many, a lot. We received last week, just on the Monday, I think we were right around 15 to 1,600 calls.
So these things are taking over.
Yes.
The season of termites is upon us.
Roughly every summer around Mother's Day weekend, give or take. They normally swarm at nighttime.
Donald Braley with J&J Exterminating says termites are invading. The underground bugs seems to be everywhere. Here is one home in Lafayette Parish. J&J exterminators were called to treat. You can see swarms or super termites and mud piles left behind from worker termites.
They've had 3 swarms to date, starting all around Mother's Day weekend.
So how do you get rid of them?
Make sure you call a certified or licensed pest professional.
Braley also advises to turn off your lights as much as possible. Try to keep paper and wood materials away from your home, and try to remove any sitting water in or around your home. What happens if you don't get rid of these things?
Unfortunately, they can lead to destructive damage. They do leave a pheromone, so they can get up in the walls.
He also says it's a good idea to keep up with regular inspections after getting treatments to keep the bugs away. Now, if you want to learn more on how you can treat these bugs, you can head on over to our website at KATC.com. For right now, I'm reporting here in Lafayette Parish. I'm Paris Flanagan, KATC TV3.
After decades of service in the classroom and in the community, a beloved principal is getting one last lap around campus. Tonight, your Lafayette Parish reporter Angie Toussaint is taking us to the finish line for Principal Rogers Griffin and the big send-off from students, staff, and the Holy Family.
Closed.
Welcome back. Well, it was a stormy one earlier today, but things have quieted down this afternoon. A few showers still out there, but already the next system queuing up. So let's get over to the key wall. The next upper level low that is right by El Paso. That's going to be moving toward our region by this time tomorrow, maybe a little bit sooner. And you can see storms already igniting across West Texas, down through the Texas Big Bend. Severe thunderstorm watch, a couple of warnings going out here, and another severe thunderstorm watch in effect for portions of Mississippi into Alabama, where activities got picked up once again this afternoon. Here's a look back at the storms that moved across the area this morning. We had pretty much a solid squall line, lots in the way of severe dynamics. As these storms move eastward, they did weaken a little bit, but we did have some cell mergers, and we did have some sporadic wind damage across portions of Acadiana. And right now, things relatively quiet. We are picking up on a few showers locally, and again, off to the east. That's where the storms will be strongest through early this evening. A couple of isolated cells across northeastern portion of Allen Parish, southeast of Oakdale, by the Pine Prairie area, and then by around Bunkie, maybe another shower on your way over toward the Plocheville area. Elsewhere, it's quiet across Acadiana. That's where we expect it to stay overnight tonight. These are the severe weather reports from earlier today. A lot of wind reports back to the west and up towards central Louisiana, going back to yesterday and the day before as well. We've had wind damage reports here locally. Weather Service still investigating. We'll get that into the database as soon as it's available. Now, moving into tomorrow, we're still hatched in for a marginal risk of a few isolated severe storms, a level 1 out of 5 that could produce damaging winds or hail. Can't rule out an isolated tornado. And then we move into Thursday, much the same, a marginal risk of isolated severe storms once again. And we are also hatched in for a marginal risk of excessive rainfall over the next couple of days, Wednesday and Thursday, because of all the rainfall we've had. We're pushing 15 inches of rain so far in Lafayette to date this month. So it should be quiet overnight tonight through daybreak tomorrow. Then tomorrow afternoon, things really begin to pick up. Showers and locally heavy thunderstorms through the afternoon hours, maybe a few isolated severe cells. It's the type of situation where you may not have a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch, but you have warnings like what we had this morning. That can happen for sure. And then we reset and reload once again. Another round of storms expected Thursday, so more heavy rainfall. Quick look at the graph model rainfall estimates, and you can't pinpoint anything other than most of us see an inch, half inch to an inch. Isolated spots we'll see 2 to 4, and that's on any given day for tomorrow and Thursday as well. So some localized urban and street flooding certainly possible. Should be a quiet night tonight. We'll keep rain chance 10% for the activity in the northern parishes that we see right now. Some patchy fog toward daybreak. Then for tomorrow, morning clouds, then maybe a little sun mid-morning, early afternoon, and then as we get deeper into the afternoon hours, showers and stronger thunderstorms developing and locally heavy downpours, certainly a possibility as we get to about this time tomorrow evening. As we move forward, rain chances staying high Thursday, 70 to 80% there, 50 to 60% on Friday. A little bit of a break this weekend, maybe a few afternoon showers Sunday. Overall, getting into a more typical spring pattern into next week. That's it for weather for now. We'll have more coming up in just a little bit.